Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Live Well with Barrie, the inspirational show with great guests inspiring and encouraging you to be the best you can be. This week we have, what can I call her? She's like a unicorn. I mean, it's this fictitious figure that you've heard about and you're not sure if it's real because it sounds so amazing. Miss Carol Straker. Lovely to have you. I want a kiss. Now, this lady is, what should we call you? First black ballerina of London.
Technically, I'm not the first one.
Not the first, okay.
But I'm near to the first.
Near to the first.
I'm near to the first.
And had your own company.
Yes.
No, that's
I might be the first.
amazing.
Yes. I kind of come in that. I come in that bracket.
Yeah, you do indeed. Yeah. So tell me, where did it all start for you? Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Finchley.
See, I'm touching her to make sure she's real. This helps me know that she's real.
I grew up in Finchley, so therefore I went to school in Finchley.
Okay.
And all that kind of stuff.
You're a North London girl.
Yeah, I'm North London.
That's like Northwest, isn't it? Northwest, is it?
North. No, okay. Finchley's north.
North, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty north. Yeah, I grew up there. Before, when I was like really baby, you know, my parents lived in Archway and all that kind of stuff.
Right, that's and really then, north.
Right. And then we moved to, when I was about 5, so I'm about 5 now, and that's my first primary school, is St. Mary's in Finchley.
Right.
So I arrived there and stuff like that. And I have 2 sisters.
Older, younger?
Yeah, you're both younger than me. I'm the oldest.
Okay, so you're the special one, the chosen one.
Well, they're both chosen. They're both.
You know that whole thing of the eldest being the favourite. We all know it. Anyway, go on.
Well, they also had their chances to do lots of things as well.
Right.
So, but the oldest. They know the oldest always has to know better because they always get told off. Because they should because you should have known better. You know, like I was leading anybody astray. I was never leading them astray.
Look at that angelic face. Does she look like she leads anybody astray? Absolutely not.
No, I don't. I just encourage them to do what they're supposed to do. What I know they can do. So that's what I do.
So you were primary school in Finchley, but you mentioned that you were in boarding school.
Yeah, I went to primary school in Finchley. I also went to secondary school in North Finchley.
Right.
I did 2 years there. So now I'm about 12, 13.
Right.
And then my dad and my ballet teacher, because I used to go to a local ballet school in the church hall.
So that's where it started.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So my dad was like, he was like, oh, what you do ballet? So we all went to ballet class.
Well, that's great because, you know, West Indian parents of that generation encouraging you to do ballets, that's unusual. They were pretty forward thinking.
Yeah, my dad was sort of quite amazing kind of person.
It sounds
in his own right. I mean, yeah. he had an OBE.
So he encouraged you all to
he encouraged us all to do ballet, and I really kind of
excelled.
Yeah, I really liked ballet, and I wanted to be a ballet dancer. My middle sister, she wanted to do fashion designing, so he sent her off to a college, you know, for fashion design in Hendon. And my youngest sister, she wanted to do secretarial work, so he sent off to secretarial school. So each of us he
really monitored your strength.
Yeah, what we wanted to do, he kind of like
interest.
Yeah, pushed us into those directions, and I kind of realized at one point, he and my ballet teacher were off in the corner whispering about something, and the next thing I knew, I was going to all these auditions,
right,
for all these different ballet schools, which was interesting at that point in time because I remember going to some of the ballet schools that I went to audition for, and I was like this really tiny little girl, and all these other people, like big grown up, like student level, like 16, 17 kind of. And I was auditioning with these people
that are older than you.
Yeah, much older than me. So I was like, all right then, I'll just do what I have to do. So I just did the audition, and then they said, oh, either I got it or I didn't get it. So eventually I got into Legat School of Russian Ballet, and that was all the way out in Sussex.
Legat.
Yes.
Again, that's like a legendary name, like White Lodge. You know?
It is because Legat, who's a Russian ballet dancer, came here and he used to train Nijinsky and Pavlova and Pavla. Yeah, so he trained. Legat
is legend.
Yeah, he trained all those people. So in theory, he's above Royal Ballet.
Wow.
So
you didn't hear that here, okay?
I couldn't. You could always put in there. Oh, I trained at Legat School of Russian Ballet, and they're like, oh, because it really is above.
And that's the standard with the Russian, whether it be ballet, whether it be athletic sports. It's like everything else is there, and Russian is kind of up there, you know.
I mean, in a way, because when I eventually did get there. And I was doing the classes and stuff like that. We used to have to do yoga every morning at 7 o'clock. The matron would have the bells, she'd come ringing around. Oh, so get up, girls, and get up. Everybody in school, you had to get up, go to yoga. So that was our first thing of the day. So before breakfast, you have yoga.
Yeah, but it was all giving the foundation of why, when other dancers saw you later, they were saying, my God, she's so flexible. She's like liquid muscle, as you call it.
Yeah, I believe so, because I suppose that was the beginning of training your body.
Yeah, and the earlier you started, the better.
Yeah, and so you're kind of like having to do ballet and tap and jazz and all these different kind of things.
Oh, you did all disciplines.
Yeah, and you also your schedule is ballet, then you got English, then you got maths, and then you got
so the academic is put in between.
In between, yeah, and because you've got this extracurriculum of dancing, you have to now go to school on Saturday morning because it means that you
to catch up
with everything.
Academic stuff.
Right, exactly. So you're kind of like cramped, and then you've got rehearsals in there as well. So you've got a lot of things that you're cramming into your day. As you're going along. So, yes. Yes.
And you were at that school until what age?
I stayed until I was 16. And there again, when I was my 16th birthday, my dad came there, because my dad would, bless him, he used to drive all the way from London, come to the school, and they go, oh, Carol, your dad's here. And you see my dad come out, he'd give me an orange. He goes, yeah, Carol. And I'm like, oh, Dad, you give me an orange, right? Thank you, Dad. Right? He goes, all right. I just felt it was him just making sure I was all right.
Yeah, he just wanted to see you. That's what it really is. He didn't want to say it, but
that's what it must have been that. Because at one point...
Because if you're boarding, you're away from home, he wants to see you.
Exactly. I see one time... I think I'm in America now, so I'm jumping ahead, right? I'm in America, and my mum, she sends this photograph back of this girl who's on this magazine, and she goes, your dad thinks this is you. I said, it's not me, I'm in America now. So he was like, you always see me in all these different places, and I was like, oh, that's not me. So, do you really think it looks like me? I don't really think it looks like me, but he would see me in a lot of people. But I think that he just really wanted to see me.
He missed you.
Right, that's what it was.
Didn't want to tell you, because you know what the parents are like, is that they still have to be hard as nails.
No, it's
really,
true.
Inside they're as soft as mush.
Exactly.
So you went there up until 16.
Yeah, and then I left to go to the Erdine Academy in Covent Garden.
Right, now this is when I know about you. This is where I know about you from. As I say, it's a name, Carol Straker, I've always heard. And you're like a unicorn, this mystical figure. Does she really exist? Because I've never met her, I've never seen her, but I've heard her. So, Erdine.
Yeah, so I go to Erdine, which now, when Erdine first started her school, she was based in Golders Green. So that was just up the road. So I could get on the bus and I could go to school and then come back again in the evening. So now I'm kind of like more at home. So yeah, definitely so much more at home, right? So I really think, but then Erdang, she's like this. She wants to have a dance school in Covent Garden.
Well, yeah, because this is when I know Erdang from, because it was literally opposite Pineapple.
Yeah, she wanted to move to Covent Garden, and also she wanted to be near the Royal Opera House.
Yeah.
Because then what she would do, she'd invite all these different dancers, like all these different people in companies, if they were at the Colosseum or if they were in the Royal Opera House, come and teach my dancers ballet class. So we had this ballet.
She had a plan.
Yeah, she really did.
Because that's why Erdang School has got the reputation it has. I mean, and the name it has.
Yeah, and she was like, each dancer, I want to bring them out, and I want to utilize your talents. So you're all soloists. So she trained us to be like soloists.
Not the core.
No, not the core. Not for Erdang. I mean, and funny enough, every company that I've been in since then has always had that ethos of treating the dancers like they're soloists.
Individuals and working on their strengths.
Yeah. So they're using their dancers as if they are, like you said, individual dancers and their strengths of it. So the thing was that, so every time I go to see a company I've danced with, I look at them and go, I used to dance with them. Because to me, it's really fascinating because they all look so different. Right. Like Ailey looks different from Michael Clark, looks different from Graham. It looks, but you can fit into those companies if you just train your body to do what they want you to do.
Yeah.
You know.
It's all about the versatility, flexibility, which you definitely have, and obviously working on the strength of the individual dancers so that they're powerful wherever they go.
Yeah.
You know, they can stand on their own wherever they go because they're using their particular strengths rather than trying to be somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be a bit of a chameleon because when the choreographer asks you to do something, you are trying to do what they want you to do.
But you do it in the way that you would do it, which makes it individual.
Yeah, you have to do it in the way that you know that they want. So I was called like seasoning.
Right.
So you have to add your seasoning to it.
2 years at Erdang, was it?
I was at Erdang's from 16 to 18.
Right, 2 years.
Yeah, and I'm a baby of the year, so my birthday's in June. I'm a June baby. So therefore, it's like Erdang was like, "Oh my God, Carol, you got here and you're just getting me to leave. You have to stay another year." I think, no, I'm not staying another, because it meant that I know that she really liked me and I know it was really good, but I was getting me to go to 18, which meant that I was 18, so now I could leave and I could go to someplace else if I had to. You know, it's like when you come out of college, you can go someplace else. But because I was baby of the year, she was like, "Oh no, I want to stay." And I said, "No, I want to stay. I want to go to America." And she goes, "All right then." So she was like, "All right, yes, we'll."
Where did the love of American dance come from? Where did that start for you?
When I saw Dance at Harlem. When I saw Dance at Harlem, I was like, "Oh my God, this is a company I can dance with." They were doing everything. They were doing everything from jazz to all types of music, because dancing to me is about music.
Right.
You're the instrument.
Okay.
You're the instrument.
Are you taking this in here, guys?
You are the instrument. So therefore, you're not fighting with the music. You are the music.
Right.
So you become the music. So if there's a little tiny bit of music floating off into the air, you float with it, and then the audience looks at you because you are the music. You know, so you don't want to see anything jogging and it's a smooth ride. It's fluid. It's smooth, and because I always describe it like this. Say you're watching me, and
closely,
right, and I take you and I lift you out of your seat, and I take you on this journey, and I take you someplace where you might not go. I hang you over a cliff and I say, look at this. You look, and then I take you back again. I put you back in your seat, and you sit back and go, and then you realise you're back in your seat, and then you start, and then you start clapping. But it's not about me jogging you out there and going, I think I'm going to fall over. You're on a very smooth ride, and you get put back down very smoothly, and then you realise that you've been on this journey.
Well, even in your explanation, you can see that dance is your life. You can see how emotional you're getting with the explanation. Do you know that?
But that's what it's about. You have to embrace. Yeah. Well, I had to embrace it that way. That's the way I understand it.
So, Harlem Dance Company, is it?
Arthur Mitchell,
right.
Dance at Harlem.
So that's where you actually saw a company doing something that you thought, hey, I fit in. A first time that you had this realization that, I've been doing this all this time, developing this talent, but I've not really found anywhere up until now that I feel I belong and they get what I'm about. So you see them and you think, I've got to get there.
Yeah, I become obsessed with Dance at Harlem now, right? I really am obsessed with them. So practically to the point where it's like, I used to practice. I remember when I was going to audition for Dance at Harlem, because they used to come every year, and I thought I've got to go and do class with them. I've got to go and do class with them. So I went to do class with them on the stage, and so I'm dancing, and I go to this one thing. They do my favourite step, right? And I go into this balance, and then I get stuck in the balance. I can't even move out of the balance. I'm so stuck in the balance. I'm balancing, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got to move out of this balance now. But I couldn't move out of the balance. I was just so on point with both balance with this step I was doing. And then I think Mitchell walks past me and he goes, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got to move now. I've got to move. But the thing was, I think I was so excited about the whole thing, right?
You froze.
Right, I just froze, right? And it's good to
froze in the right point for the right person to see you.
Exactly. But it was that. It was just, I was so excited because this dance company, Dance at Harlem, they were doing everything, all kinds of music. And at one point they had this piece called Force of the Rhythm. I don't know if you ever saw Force of the Rhythm, choreographed by Lewis Johnson, which I did get to meet later on. It was very fantastic. Lewis Johnson, Force of the Rhythm, and he had it was done so far where they had Harlem Rose, all the music and stuff of things. They had ballet girls, they had ballet boys, they had, so it was all kind of like these sections of dancers intermingling, dancing with each other, competing, but also still dominating the whole stage, right? And I just loved that piece. I just loved that ballet. It was just unbelievable.
Right.
It was gorgeous. So that just took my heart away. So I was like, Dance at Harlem, I've got to be there. I've got to get there.
Dance Theatre Harlem. How did you make it happen to get there?
My poor father, my family as well, actually, because they were all involved with this. I would sit there Sunday dinner, and I would just, I got to be at Dance at Harlem. I got to be at Dance at Harlem. I had to be there. I had to let them know that I had to be there. And the only way I could let them know that I had to be there was to express myself. I have to get there. You don't know, you're holding me back. I'm being held back in this country. So.
Not dramatic or anything. Okay, this is over your chicken and rice and peas. I just want you to know that. Okay.
Oh dear. And my dad used to just sit there and he'd say,
listening to all your nonsense.
And he goes, Carol, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. And eat food, right? And I go, oh, but Dad, you don't understand. You don't understand. And I said, and he just said, Carol, it's not that easy. And once my dad said something, that was it. He wasn't saying it again. He wasn't going to change his mind about anything. Because you know what it was, is that he was actually working out how I was going to get there.
To get you there.
Right, exactly.
But didn't want to build up your hopes probably too high because you didn't want you to be disappointed. So.
And plus in those days you had to get visas and you had to get all these different kinds of things, and plus I had to audition to find out if I would even be able to go there and how it was going to happen.
Right.
So I had to work out, he had to work out all these things and stuff like that. But I was very adamant I had to be there.
So how did it happen?
So eventually, that's it happened. They kept on coming back to the country, and I got an audition. Well, I didn't get an audition, but I got to do class with them.
Right.
So that's when I got stuck in that balance, right?
Right.
So I was doing the class and stuff like that, and I got stuck in the balance and everything like that. And then Mr. Mitchell said, "All right, you can come to America." And so I got to go to America because they were taking some dancers to train, because that was the first year that they were going to start having their college level for their students outside of, just from all across America and stuff like that. So really it was their first year for them having students coming in.
Right, so training them
to start
their
training.
company or so.
Because they had Harlem, they had all their dancers in their dance schools, they had all their local children and stuff like that. And so now they're starting to bring in more people. Yeah, so they're starting to bring in more people. They're starting their curriculum off for teaching how they want to have the dancers in their company. Because they used to have dancers and they have apprentices for the company. So that's how the dance at Harlem was made up. It was made up of dancers that came from other dance companies.
Right.
And then eventually they started training their own dancers, and then they started having dancers from other countries. So, yeah.
How long were you with them?
I was only with them for about a year and a half. I always feel like this is what God does with me. He picks me someplace, picks me up and puts me someplace else. He's always doing that with me. So I can't complain. I always find myself in these situations where I'm in this company or I'm in this place and stuff like that. And I kind of get moved around to different places.
So how many international companies have you worked with?
Quite a few. I've danced with, dancing at Harlem, I didn't really dance with them, but I trained. I trained with them more so. But after that, I went to Nanette Beard and Company, and then I went to, I went to quite a few. I went to Dance at Harlem, just because I was doing that thing. Then I went to Masai Company, which was in Chicago.
Oh, you went to Masai?
Yeah, in Chicago. And they were a ballet company, so I did lots of Don Quixote and all that kind of stuff. I did that, which was a very funny audition, because I did the audition, and they auditioned and everything like that, and then I got taken, and I was like, oh. So I get there, and I'm the only one who gets taken from this company. It's a very small little company. Right. So now I'm in Chicago. Never been there before in my life. I'm away from everybody in New York, and everybody else that I know. So now I'm just stuck in New York, stuck in Chicago. But it was a nice city and stuff like that, so I danced there for a little bit. Then I come back to America. I come back to New York, and then I go to. I'm dancing in Nanette Bearden's company, because Nanette Bearden, she used to have. She used to invite all these different choreographers. So I got to work with Tally Beatty. Tally Beatty is one of that. In America, you had all these black dancers, right? The gods of dance, right? I just call them the gods, right? Because they're like the giants of dance now. You got Mitchell, after Mitchell, got Lewis Johnson, Tally Beatty, John Jones. John Jones was one of the first dancers with John Jeremy's company, something like that. So you've got all these different companies that now you've got Mitchell, who's the first one who danced there. He's the first one in New York City Ballet. Right. You got... I
know New York City Ballet.
Yeah, so he's the first one in New York City Ballet. Then you got Lewis Johnson. Lewis Johnson, they used to call him the Black Nijinsky. So he was like really kind of muscular, to really do lots of jumps and stuff like that. So you've got all these different people now, who are just like, the pioneers of dance. The bride is a black dancer. So I get to work with all these different people from her company because she used to bring them in. They do pieces of choreography. Then that company would tour around and stuff like, different places in New York and different places and stuff. And so I got to. But what was really happening is that America, they do this thing where they scout.
Right.
So all these people are watching you. You don't know what's going on. So
you're just doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
but influential people are watching you and saying, okay.
Yeah, So I remember this really distinctly because I was in America and I was just moving around doing different dance companies and just, different dance studios and just, doing the craft and stuff like that. And I think, oh my God, all right, I know that I'm meant to be a dancer, but what kind of dancer am I meant to be? Where am I meant to be dancing? How am I meant to do that? I was always getting like that because I I can dance with everybody, but I can dance with nobody.
Okay.
And Miguel Gaudreau, he was a dancer from Ailey, and I became assistant choreographer to him.
Oh, and Alvin Ailey's company.
Yeah, he used to be that. And he explained it to me really well one time. He goes, yes, sometimes you go to audition and they're saying to you, what do you want to do? They're asking you what you want to do. And that's happened to me. That happened to me with Jillian Lynn. That happened to me with Lisa, what's her name? Annie Phillips. So they're asking me, what do you want to do? Yeah, and you're thinking, well, I come to the audition, I want to dance in your group, I want to dance in your company. But like he said, sometimes when you're that person who's dancing, somebody's watching you. They're meant to be watching the star, but they're watching you. So you're that kind of person who is attracting the eye all the time. So that's why everybody wants to dance with you, but you can't dance with everybody else.
Right.
Because it's not your fault.
Out on your own.
Yeah, and you don't mean to do it. And he used to say, I told them I could underdance. I don't have to do so many turns. I don't have to do.
You were so desperate to get into it. You would do anything that you thought was.
But they don't believe you. No. They because they know.
You can't underdance.
I know.
It's like telling Patti LaBelle she should only sing with half of her voice. What?
Exactly. So it doesn't matter. So you have to wait. Your kind of, I think you have to really understand what's happening to you,
right?
Because you take note of. I put it this way: one time when I just come out of Alvin Ailey's company, and I met him on the road, to Broadway. And he goes, "Oh, Carol, I just sent the kids off on tour, and I'm thinking, he's talking to me like I'm like running buddies with him, right? And same with Lewis Johnson. He used to go, oh, Carol, what do you think of my ballet? I'm thinking, yeah, you can choreograph. You choreograph all these companies. You're a legend, He just finished doing the Wiz movie with Michael Jackson and Aretha Franklin and stuff like that. And then he's asking me what I think of his ballet. So I'm thinking, all right. So I noticed that all these people started doing that with me. And I thought, you know what? And I did it exactly. When I did exactly the same thing. When I came back to London, I was going, oh, so where's the next Carol Straker? I was started looking for the next. So they're looking for the next one. They can see the next one,
right,
in me. And I was looking for the next one in somebody else.
Right. Well, you have to pass the torch on. You have to pass on the baton because you can't keep it going forever.
Exactly.
How long were you with Alvin Ailey?
There again, I was there for a year and a half. Yeah.
Because, that's quite something to put into your resume.
Yeah. And the thing with when I talked to Ailey, right, I was like 21.
Right.
And for that company, they used to have slightly older dancers because now you've got dancers who have been mature. They dance with lots of different companies and they really know how to dance.
Yeah,
they know how to dance, right? There's no messing about. They know how to dance. And so I was called the baby of the company. It's like, oh, the baby. So I was always a baby, right? But it wasn't my fault. It's just that I was the youngest in the company. And they were kind of making a point of it that we don't usually take
people that young.
Yeah, you should take babies into a company, right? And plus also, I wasn't from America. I didn't know anything about the company.
Okay.
I didn't go through the Ailey school. I didn't go through Ailey third company, second company. I got plopped into the first company.
Right.
And so the first week of me dancing in Ailey company was, I just had to dance. Nobody taught me. There's like, But at the end of the first week of rehearsals, one of the girls who was meant to be, I was second cast for her, and the director, the company, one of the directors, rehearsal directors, Chaya, he was my dance partner for this ballet, and we just do the dance and stuff like that. But I think it was Cheryl. She couldn't be in that rehearsal, so I was dancing with first cast for the first level of the company. And then after I finished doing that rehearsal, like, Diva, she can dance, because they wouldn't talk to me because they didn't know who I was.
Right.
They didn't know anything about me.
You had to kind of prove yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. But I thought...
Because they're all probably thinking,
where's she exactly.
Go through the lead, you know,
and that's
as we did.
And that's what it was. I didn't go through any of that stuff that they went through. They didn't know me from anybody, right? All they knew...
I know how that whole world can be. They can be like, yeah, who does she think she is? Yeah.
Exactly, and they just didn't know who
when
was.
you prove yourself, you're like, oh, they're your best friend. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. You know, so I thought, no, I'm going to dance. It's just technique. Just give them more technique. That's all I was about. And then I had Tally Beatty, and he was really good rehearsal, right? But he had this assistant choreographer who used to come and help him assist. But nobody ever really wanted to do anything if he wasn't there, because Tally would just shuffle around like this, and he'd go, "You got me," and we go, "Oh my God, what did he do? What did he do?"
Yeah.
And so, and you go, but he would really cut into you if he did not like you, or he didn't think you were dancing to level. He wouldn't attack you personally, but he would attack somebody next to you, because he could say, "Oh, so and so, I gave the correction to that person," because all corrections are your corrections, aren't they? Right. So you're supposed to listen to everybody's correction, but then he'd go. But when you hadn't heard, if you hadn't corrected the correction, after a while he would just rip into you, like, you know, "Did you hear what I was saying?" So everyone was a bit scared of him, you know. Oh no, but because I'd worked with him in another company, in the Net Bearden's company, before I got to Ailey, first company. The first, he didn't help the situation. The first rehearsal I went to him, right, we're all sitting around, we're all waiting for rehearsal, and he's sitting around, he goes, he looks around the corner, he goes, "You!" And he's like, he's like, "Oh my God, I'm only just got here, I don't know anybody in this company." And so I'm thinking,
that's why he chose you.
And he's going, "You're in this company. Oh, this is an arena." He goes, "This is not a game, this is an arena. This is," and I was thinking,
that's a bit of fame, isn't it? Here is where you start paying.
Exactly. He was like, and I was like, oh my God, right, just deep breath, Carol, just do what you've got to do, right? But because I'd known him, right, from the other company, he was like, all right, Carol, let me see your leg up here. Let me see, woman. And he wouldn't call me Carol, he would just call woman.
Okay.
All right, woman, let me see you doing it. Do 3 turns, do 4. Yeah, and he was like really pushing my boundaries, like, "Oh, can't you get your leg a bit higher? Just a little bit higher."
How long was your journey in the States?
I was there for 5 years, going on 6 years.
Okay. And came back and decided to do what? Because then this is kind of where I know of the name Carol Straker.
Okay. I come back into the country because now I've been to America. I kind of been through all these companies quite quickly. So
you've got quite a body of work now. You've come back.
Yes, I've done
experience.
Yes, I've done a lot of stuff, right? You know, and saying that, but I've been on tours to Israel, to Japan. You know, so I've done a lot of touring with Ailey First Company. Also, I've been out on the roads with some other companies and stuff like that. So I really kind of done quite a bit. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I doing now? Because my whole dilemma was, first of all, when I was in Erdangs, was I want to be in a company where it's got other black dancers, because I wanted to know how I was against other black dancers, not how I was against white dancers, or Chinese dancers, or all my classmates, because we used to do friendly competition. Oh, somebody got their leg up high, we go and get mine higher. We do friendly competition, but now that I really want to see if I'm going to be, how am I going to be among my own people?
Right.
And that's really why I wanted to go to America. I put myself in that place where I wanted to be, how good am I? Because in England, it was almost like, I was like the token dancer.
Right.
And I didn't mind being token, but I didn't really like being token, because I didn't think dancing was about being a token.
Right.
It was about dancing with everybody. Dancing because you're dancing the music. You're all expressing the music together. Right. So
when you were in England, were you usually just the only black dancer in the company, or?
I was kind of, because I did dance with mass movers, because in my last year at Erdangs, I went and danced with them. So I kind of had to do study and doing touring as well. Right. So I had to do a bit of that. But it was more so that I was kind of chosen by myself to do stuff either separately, or just because I don't think I fitted in with the way that it, and plus also at that time they were doing lots of self-feed and all those kind of like, really ballets, so, and I was like, oh, these are nice ballets, but at the end of the day there's more to ballet than that, because there's more dancing. So I was like modern dance, modern ballets, like, Balanchine and all that kind of stuff. So that's more like, because that was more based on technique and stuff like that as well.
So Carol Straker comes back to London 1985, 86. When did your company start?
Then
because it was Hackney based, is it?
Yeah, we're Hackney based, because my father had got, my father used to work in Hackney, and he had just got this building. Okay. So it's when the GFC was all closing down all the things and stuff like that, and so they were serving up lots of different buildings for people and stuff. So he had a Black History Museum, and so part of the Black History Museum, we wanted to have a dance department in it, and I was the dance department.
The company was in the building with your father's Black History Museum.
Yes. It was excellent, because now we have all this Black history. So if I want to research any ballets or anything like that, what I have to do is go downstairs. Or the ultimate dictionary on Black history is my father. Just after asking him anything, and he says, oh, but don't they know that the Egyptians are doing ballet? So he was my answer to everything. So
he said he had got an OBE.
Yeah, he got OBE. So he got it for work with the community and stuff like that. And he used to work with the church a lot. He was a Toastmaster. So my lords, ladies and gentlemen, and he used to do all that. He used to go to all our family. He used to be like the Caribbean Times and all that kind of stuff. So, and we used to dance at his occasions and stuff like that. So yeah, my dad was around all these people like Dyke Dryden, Jeff Crawford, all the kind of like shakers and movers of
the time.
Yeah. They're making London be stable, Like I go to Dad, because every time the telephone ring in the middle of the night, you go, oh, I've got to go. And you have to go to the police station and help other people because of sus, people
it was very much that time.
Right, yeah. And he was always out helping these people. And he also became a JP, Justice of the Peace. Yeah, he was a bit of everything, really. And so therefore, at the end of the day, I was just like, my God, my dad does everything. It's like, what can I do? And I thought, all right, just settle down, Carol. You dance. So you're going to be a dancer. So you excel in your field.
Right.
So I had to let all the stuff that he's really good at, really famous for and stuff like that. Because I couldn't go anywhere. Everywhere I went, so it was Straker's daughter.
Right. Yeah.
Straker's daughter. Straker.
But then you had your company, so that it was Carol Straker. So talk us through these here. What is this one?
This is the first brochure that I did for the school, because I started...
For your dance school?
Yeah, my dance school. Because I started the dance school when I first, in 1987, I kind of sit down and start working out how I'm going to get this school company.
Right. So you started with a school.
Yeah.
And then it developed into a company.
Oh, it's just part of the plan.
Right.
Yeah, it was part of the plan. In 87, I sat down. Well, I must have been doing it before that, because I really started thinking all these things I was going to do. Because I knew that you had to have a dance school. I knew, because even though you have a company, you've got to be training children someplace to come up and go into the... Because now you're developing your style of dancing, your body type, with all your students.
Right.
So they replace you into the company and stuff like that. So we have to have the dance school first, then we get the dance company. So now I audition all these different dancers, which my dad said was a good idea, get some good dancers around you. So I do this, I get all these good dancers that I know, and so when we have the audition, we do the audition, we get all the different dance schools, and we get them to come in and do a bit of ballet, a bit of jazz, a bit of tap. They have to be multi-talented in all these different senses, because I know that I'm going to be a black dance company. So I want to do dance, I want to do ballet to jazz dancing, I want to do ballet to acid music, I want to do ballet to...
Right.
I want to utilise the music that belongs to us.
Yeah.
And I want to tell our story.
Makes sense. That makes absolute sense. Now this is the book of the company, yeah?
Yeah, this is when we launched. Yeah.
And what year was this?
This is 1988.
1988?
Yeah, 1988.
When the company launched?
Yeah, the company launched. Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, is this Miss Straker here? Look at this. Pure diva. I can see why they call you Miss Diva. So this is 1988.
Yeah.
Can you remember your first performance?
Yeah, it was at Hackney Empire, and...
Have you seen Hackney Empire now?
Yeah.
It's not the Hackney Empire that you knew.
No, it's completely different.
Yeah, it's
completely
really
different.
Renovated. And
when we first started, that stage was really raked and stuff like that, so you had to go there and practice dancing in there.
Now this is the foundation. When did you start the foundation?
Well, the foundation it kind of all started together, but it's a bit like a puzzle that the internal people know there's a company, there's a school, they know there's a foundation, because you have to structure it so that everything's interlinked. So when we go on stage for the company, we have our little students, like the footballers, have their little children that walk out and they give them the flowers. So each dancer now has their own child with them because the school's already there.
Okay.
The school, the children come to the thing, so they get to see what they're going to be. So everything's kind of got its own structure, but it's interwoven.
Right.
A bit like Royal Ballet.
Yeah, not separate entities. Yeah. So this is more from the foundation. This is her, as we speak. This is 1988 as well, is it?
No, this is a bit later on. This is about 1990.
Look at that leg. That is just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, this leg here. What is that? I mean,
it's called 6 o'clock.
Can someone tell me what is this thing here? It's just like a pole that's sticking out from under her dress. It's not even like a leg. So then you went from that, the foundation. What followed that? Because it all eventually closed.
It did. Also because you are kind of dictated to by the rest of the dance world and by the rest of what's happening in in society and stuff like that.
The Arts Council, Dance Council?
Yeah, Arts Council.
Arts Council, yeah.
Arts Council. You're kind of dictated by them, through them, all the kind of stuff, but you're also trying to analyse what they're doing and also what you want to do. But they went through a whole period of time where they were thinking, oh, black dancers can't dance, and also, that that you only had to have 5 dancers in a company, because they didn't want to have these big dance companies anymore. There were too many little dance companies that were springing up. At one point, there was Phoenix, there was Union, there was
Phoenix. Remember them?
Yeah, Phoenix. There was Union. There was Jamai. There were companies up and down the country, and they wanted us all to be together.
Right.
Yes. Which at one meeting I said to them, well, who's going to lose their funding? Because at the end of the day, why would we all come together? Because divide and rule. That's all it was about. It was about divide and rule.
Yes, because the Arts Council, they fund a lot of stuff, and unless you can get the private backers and funding to finance what you're doing, you're in a way dependent on them. And if they're not in support of what you're doing, they're not going to fund it. So it's a vicious circle.
Yeah, and then also the Arts Council. One thing I really do not like about the Arts, well, it's just I understood it, that they have people in the Arts Council. They're going around looking at their scouts or their I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called, but they have people going around, and debating what your company's like, and should you get money, and
assessors.
Assessors, that's it. Yeah, but these assess people are actually part of the Arts Council. These are actually, they're actually other company people, who got their own companies, who don't want to see you doing well, because at the end of the day, if you're doing well, then they're not going to do well, especially when you set a level of this is what the new company's going to look like.
Well, in actual fact, the assessors themselves, it's not neutral, is it?
Yeah,
they're working for the very body that you're dependent on for the funding. So.
Exactly. And because I've been, not only because I've been in America, because if you're in America, you can see what they're doing on this side of the pond. If you're here, you can see what they're doing on that side of the pond. And I'm a bit savvy now. I've danced with a lot of companies. I've danced with, like I said, the giants of the dance world. Every day, England they got good dancers as well. Okay. But I have a different understanding of what international dancers look like now.
Right. Yeah. So the company, the foundation still is going, is it? Or is it? I
still have the foundation. I basically still have the foundation. I still have the charity and stuff like that. So when I went to get ready to reunite it into something else, I will do.
It's still there.
Yeah, because the thing is, I used to have all these, the plan of the dance. Now, I've done dance strategies. I've written out dance strategies. I've had to eat, breathe, and think about being a dancer. Right. So the healthy way of living as a dancer. So everything is developed around this whole idea of how to live, how to move, how to walk, how to eat, how to do everything around a dancer. So you can just break it off into the dance history. So we got to know about the history of dance, but not just their history, our history.
Okay.
So we got to know about all these kind of things. And in America, that's what they do now. Alvin Ailey, they've got their own university kind of level of this kind of stuff now.
Of training. Yeah,
of training. Back in the day, it wasn't kind of thought of. You had to do this. You had dance history, you had notation. Or English or white or Russian, all that, but we didn't have anything which we could say that we'd done this.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, and this is our history, and this is our dance.
All the history you were learning was either Russian or European, or it was nothing.
Yeah, and it was their stories, about Giselle and Swan Lake or whatever like that. Which
are fabulous.
Yeah, I've got nothing against them. They're very nice when they do them, and they're very good, and it is a form of ballet, and it is ballet in a sense, but it's that I always say about dancing. Any kind of dancing is only words in a vocabulary. So those are just ballet, but then you got you should be able to mix it in with everything else. So if the music changes, you change. Right. Because especially if you're trying to tell a bit of a story.
Okay.
With your music, with your music and your dance, then you need to have all those different flavors in there. You need to be able to change.
Don't think like the Giselles or this one let's have those flavors?
Yeah, but they're just stuck in those flavors.
Right.
I mean, the same could be said if you. Like, that was one of the things that I had when I first came back, where they kept on saying, well, black people are supposed to do African dancing. Right. I thought, well, if they keep on doing African dancing, that's going to change after a while because they're not in their environment anymore. They're not in Africa. So therefore, that's going to change, isn't it? So, yeah, you get me? So it's going to evolve.
Well, everything does. The only thing that you can be sure of is change in everything.
Exactly.
We change, life changes. Right. So it's obvious that it will change and evolve. Yeah,
and so that's what my thing was, is that we're evolving. We're going to do ballet. We're going to do jazz. We're going to do contemporary. We've got whatever we need to do. We're going to do it. Like one of my dancers, Ada Scholler, she also went to dance at Harlem, but she's also an English trained dancer, and she wanted to do a ballet to Billie Holiday and stuff like that. And she goes, well, this is our music, we're going to use it. And so she choreographed her piece to that music. Right. And then Andrea, she did vocaling in her bit of choreography. So the thing is that we wanted to express how we wanted to express. It's just it just makes it richer. Right. Yeah, you can't eat chips every day.
True.
Well, I don't eat chips every day. I would eat anything.
When the company closed, you then went back to dancing yourself.
Well, I was always dancing through it.
Or even through the company?
Yeah, I was dancing, I was choreographing, I was, teaching all this kind of stuff and stuff like that. I then decided to develop the Constellation Change, which was different dance companies or different dance films, the U version of like YouTube. Okay. Because I used to think to myself, you know what? All these people used to send us in films from all over the world, and we used to have this panel who was going to sit there and watch them. Andre he was from Ailey, he'd come back from there, and we have different people like filmmakers and stuff like that, all looking at these different films, and we sit down, do all of these things, and we just pick out who we wanted to have in the film festival, okay. Then balance it out, so you get to see a bit of modern dancing, contemporary dancing, dancing, old dancing. So you got a real range a real mix, of like really you stuff and avant-garde stuff. Not too avant-garde, but a little bit. But it was really just so that we could. So now I started looking at this as like, this is my new company. The company is for the world, right? I'm now auditioning these different dance. Doing comedy. Okay. It's true. And then now these companies are coming into the umbrella of Constellation Change. Okay. So you can take from the old, everything. You can even take old stuff. Like ballet russe. Okay. And that's from old Russia. Really old ones. So we've got really old stuff, but really new stuff. And you're now looking at it under this guise of like dance. This is what it is. It's called Shut Up and Dance. If you can dance, dance. Don't hear it. Don't hear it. Just dance. Just show me dance. Because now, what I'm doing now is I'm doing the thing that athletes can do. Because they can run against the clock. Right. And they've got a benchmark. Okay. Now so you're now doing that with dance? Yeah. So the benchmark for dance is like, you have to be this good if you want to be in. So now you've got Bolshoi, you've got New York City Ballet, you've got somebody who's really you, somebody who's just in their bedroom dancing, but they're dancing. Right. So now we've got a new benchmark. And I thought, Constellation Change, because at the end of the day, that's that big giant that's all come together from all these different little bits and pieces and stuff like that. And we're having a change. Like you think that Nijinsky is the only person. You think that Fontaine's the only person. You think that these people are the only people who can dance, but you're not looking out into the world and seeing Ailey and Graham and seeing all these other people in Jamaican will dance, and you're not actually looking at all these other people in the world, are you?
You just use that benchmark, that yardstick, and that's it. Everything has to be like that, or it's not considered even.
It has to just be good.
So what are your projects at the moment? What are you doing now?
Apart from resting. Now, just saying that.
As divas do.
Yeah, I do have to have a little bit of a rest. And because it really worked out.
I mean, you've been hammering that body since the 70s.
I know, since...
So, you know, it's due a rest.
I know, it really is, you know. And I'm one of those kind of people who's like, oh, what's next? I'm a doer. So I like to do things. I like to see people doing things. Once I understand what you want to do, but I must understand what you want to do, then I will give it a try. I'll give it all I've got behind you. I'll stand behind you. I'll try and do it as much as I possibly can. But it has to make sense to me. It can't just be, just can't be this.
You come back something you don't believe in.
Yeah, so. You know, some people just fling you up in the air. I'll catch you, but how are you going to catch me? You know, so you really have to know what you can leave a little bit leeway. Yeah, because that's how we try things
new things,
that's how we try new things.
With the experimentation, right? You got to try it and that fails, that doesn't work. Try it, that was brilliant.
No, exactly.
It's all about experimentation.
And I also started looking at one point I saw gymnasts.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God.
How can we incorporate that?
Yeah, and dancers are going to look like this one day, because skaters were beginning to look like dancers.
With fitness, sport has completely changed. If you put a tennis player from the 1920s against Djokovic or Serena Williams, they wouldn't even see the ball.
I know. It's advancing.
So you look at athletes, even take it back 30 years, say, to Olympics in the 70s, 80s, to Olympians now. Completely different machine. The body is a completely different machine.
I know.
Sylvia Guillaume.
Yeah, because now you have dancers who are gymnasts. Literally. So this is changing the whole game plan. So if you actually can see I started looking at John Curry.
Yeah.
He looked like a dancer on ice.
That's right, yeah.
You know, I think.
But I think he had a dance background or something.
He did, he did. And you can actually
start. He was a ballerina, I think.
Yeah, I think he was a dancer. I think.
Yeah.
And I think also that they were beginning to cross into different things. Yeah, because footballers studied a bit of ballet and stuff like that now as well. You know, so the thing is that when you can see the next thing coming, and I could see all these dancers who were like coming from a gymnast background, you know, and people like, I went to dance with one group of people once, and they said, "Oh, you're a gymnast?" And I said, "No, not a gymnast. I'm just
flexible."
I'm just a very flexible dancer.
And you have to thank your Russian teacher for that, for making you do yoga before breakfast.
Exactly. You know, and it's a reality is that you can actually start to see how it's going to develop. So I could see that dancers were going to go.
Evolving
into this
machine.
Into this level.
Well, I mean, they're my favorites. Sylvia Guillaume, Deborah Bull, I love them and always will. I do love a bit of Darcy as well.
No, Darcy, you can dance. I'll give it to Darcy, well. Exactly.
But I know what you're saying, because it is always that is the benchmark.
Yeah.
And, Misty.
Yeah, it's true. Misty, now look at Misty,
but,
right?
She's not as... pushed us prominently. So apart from resting, what is Miss Straker doing?
Okay, Miss Straker is also doing this. Okay, because back in the day, I was always obsessed with like film and video, and the minute that video came out as a medium for dance to go onto, I remember all dancers, oh my God, this is so brilliant. Now we don't have to take notation.
That's right.
And so it's hard to write out every single thing your body's doing.
How did you even write it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh God, you write, you have...
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, you have a particular way of doing the notation. but you also have to do it in your own way so you can write
So
it down.
that you recognize it and understand it when you read it back.
You know, but...
So you're doing this thing with video now?
Yeah, so now we have video, and I'm thinking, oh my God. And this is when I was in America as well. I bought, you know, VHS, I bought Beta, I bought, you know, all the different formats. I was like obsessed with dance. So I started, you know, videotaping when I was, you know, in all these different companies back in America.
Right.
So then I carry on when I get to England. So all my company, all rehearsals.
It's all logged on video.
Yes, a lot of, you know, classes, rehearsals.
So what are you doing now? Transferring it to DVD or what?
Yeah, I have to get it transferred. I have to start getting it transferred. I've only had one of my directors. He's done one of the ballets, but I've got so much stuff to do, and it's just...
So it's transferring these to DVD to use for future reference?
Use for future reference, and also I think I was obsessed with getting it captured on film, because I always just say, one day they'll say she was a good dancer. Not just me personally, one day they were good dancers, because it was almost like, it's a myth that black people could dance good in those days. It's a myth. You know?
Really?
Yes, because we could only do African dancing. So the thing was, right, is that I wanted to make sure that you could actually see.
It was logged.
It was
you
logged.
know what?
It was
This black
logged.
chick can shake it with the best of them.
Yeah, and it wasn't just me. It was all the other dancers that we were there. You know, like Mark and and Adeshola and Andrea and so.
And Mark has his own company as well, doesn't he, with the kids? Mark,
he does his own things there as well.
Now, my poster over there, could you hand it to me, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Look what I have. And it's signed. And it's spelled correctly. That's a wonder. Thank you, my love. I love that. So what does Carol do to look after herself?
Carol tries to rest. She tries to do...
Carol does a lot of resting, it seems.
No, I don't mean resting like that. My resting, if I go to...
Lady of leisure.
If I go to the sauna, my resting is like this. I can't just do no exercise. I mean, I went to the sauna one day and I was like sitting, my back doesn't touch the floor, it doesn't touch the back of the chair.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just like stomach muscles. And this guy goes to me, are you training for the army? I said, no, I'm not training for the army. I said, no, it's just that if I'm in the sauna, I must be doing something. I can't just sit there and go. No, I can't just relax like that.
Do you do classes anymore?
I teach exercise to music.
Okay.
Which I enjoy doing that because I can say to ladies, okay, and men, I can really feel that. If I can feel it, then we're not going to do any more. Because at the end of the day, it's, you have to keep your body toned. Yeah, because I find that.
But you don't do dance classes anymore?
No, I don't do dance classes anymore.
Why is that?
Because I think my body's really just had enough of it.
Really?
Yeah, it really feels like it's had enough of it.
You mean you're not even tempted to go and slide in the back of a dance teacher's class and just try and mask it and not go, well, I'm better than her, really.
No. I've concluded that dance would kill me, right? Because music, if I hear music, I have to dance to it, right? I have to dance to it, right? I'm like the Pied Piper. It's like... and if it's got that music, if that music's playing, then I've got to dance to it.
You're not as young as you used to be, so you can't do it.
No, so I'm not going to
hammer your body in that way.
No, not in that. Because like one of my osteopaths, he goes, "Oh, your poor body," because what dancers do is like they just demand their body don't do anything.
Yeah, but dancers, athletes, it's like, to reach that level, that standard, you have to push your body beyond. And you get injuries and aches and pains and pulls and strains. You strap it up and you keep going, keep going, keep hammering it.
Right, exactly. And your body, it's not a robot, but it's almost like you're doing it out of willpower. It's like literally.
Sometimes it's pushing your body further than it really should.
Yeah,
But your determination.
Yeah,
is taking you to that level.
You just have to do it because it's unacceptable for you because you're in that level.
I mean, especially the ballerinas, they go through Torture.
Right, you're in that level. You can't be seen to be wobbly.
It's good that you've left that behind and know that that's no longer for you.
No, it's not. It's
no longer for you. The next generation. You'll pass it on to the next generation.
Yes.
Carol, darling, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to chat with you and hear your inspirational story and journey. And what advice have you got for anyone who wants to start their own company? Talk right into that camera there.
Are you going to my class? No.
You don't want this big old wobbly body in your class, trust me.
Oh dear. Got to start someplace.
That's true.
No, what my advice would be is do what you, in your mind, if you feel that you are really good at what you're doing, then just keep on doing it, because it really is about what you want to do. It really is about what you want to do. And I always just say, they'll get over it. If you want to do it, then do it.
Don't be discouraged.
Don't be
determined.
Don't be discouraged by anybody, because they don't know your journey. They don't know what God has given to you, your talents and stuff like that. And if you are meant to do it, it's like with those famous singers at the end of the day. You have so many people go, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. But at the end of the day, if you're destined to do it, you will do it.
That's a very important piece of information there, because people judge you by their standards.
Yeah.
And they're not looking at your talent and thinking, well, actually, you're good. He's good at that, or she's good at that. They should pursue it.
Yeah.
So you do have to have that determination to say, well, I'm going to surpass what I hear, and I'm going to focus and do.
You have to. You have to just.
My journey.
You have to, and just know yourself.
Yeah.
Really know yourself.
That's the important part. Know yourself.
Know yourself. Know if you get injury, if you get hurt, or you get something's niggling your body or something like that. Even if it's not niggling your body, just get to know yourself. Really get to know yourself. Really, you have to know yourself inside out. You have to know that person looking at me funny. Why are they looking at me funny? You have to know that. You have to know that.
Nice. I like that to end with. Know yourself.
You have to know yourself. You have to.
Thank you, my darling. Right. Lovely to see you. Another great guest. Thank you for joining us. And as usual, if anything resonates with you, please leave a message on Facebook, on the website, on Twitter, on Instagram. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know you're watching. And see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.